Right here on 92.3 The Fan.
I was going to talk about another Browns quarterback for a second, but you have a different conversation about a totally different quarterback we've seen already. I want to hear this.
So I got a tweet that said, in his first start as a rookie, Dylan Gabriel, it was nice not seeing any interceptions for a change. And I said, yeah, absolutely. You wanted to win the turnover battle, and Joe was just turning the ball over too much. And I did say, but obviously that game plan comes at a really big expense of no explosives, no stretching of the field. You're not going to screen teams to death, especially the more of this is on tape. Also, Dylan Gabriel, everything was to the left. Almost every completion was to the left yesterday. And almost every incompletion was balls thrown beyond, 10 yards. So here is the give and take in the NFL. Yes, you can limit the mistakes by playing that type of football. But you're also going to have trouble scoring points in that way, too. And what did you have yesterday that you haven't had all year? You had a great running game. You had an elite running game yesterday. You had one called back that would have been a touchdown. You actually had the game-breaking speed that I questioned. Man, he got out there. He looked faster. Quinshon Judkins looked faster than everybody, certainly those linebackers for Minnesota. So you had a big advantage this week that I don't know that you're going to have every game, because we knew going into the game, like, hey, this is a team you should be able to run the ball against. And they did. I think if Flacco had that running game yesterday, I think then play action could have actually worked and you could have stretched the field. He has been dealing from a point of weakness basically in every game. Remember, they only had 2 snaps with a lead going into this week. 2 snaps the whole year. It was the second worst in the NFL. I think Tennessee had 0 snaps with an offensive lead, on offense with a lead. So because of that, you just haven't had the ability to do the stuff Joe Flacco does well. And this week would have been that week. Now, again, who cares? Joe Flacco's not the future. You've got to start working out.
You brought it up.
Yeah. I'm saying that I understand that Joe Flacco had run its course. Like, I didn't kill the Browns for making the switch this week, but I think it would have been a game that Joe Flacco could have played well in, because I think he would have had more time.
Well, Joe Flacco could play well in any game. So if we're going by what you're saying, there's no point of ever getting rid of Joe Flacco.
No.
He can play well in every game.
No, I'm talking about games where you have a run game and could protect the quarterback a little bit. Like, I think this would have been the week that he actually could have thrown the ball down the field and gotten those explosive plays.
You're missing something here.
A couple of years ago, they got all those explosive plays down the stretch, and they haven't been able to really do that.
I think you're missing something here.
Go ahead.
Would they have run the ball as much if Joe was the quarterback? It was their game. I told you how they would win like 6. I thought they would win 6 games this year, and that's out the window. So sorry. But I said you win more games. There's so many games that are just handed to you in the NFL where if you can line up and run the ball with any efficiency and not turn the ball over, and they have been a better tackling team this year than what they have been in the past. I mean, it's 3 big things. Okay, you're not going to have explosive plays, so that's out of the question. Can you line up and run the football? Yeah. Can you tackle? Yeah. Okay, that's 2 out of 3. That ain't bad. That can win you a decent amount of football games at some juncture. So if you have that, then that's fine. But if they still had Joe, I think the arm is too tantalizing to the head coach that they still would have had the same type of stuff, and he still would have been out there throwing picks and turning the ball over the way it did before he got replaced.
Yeah, but remember...
So you can say, they could have won that game with Joe Flacco, but I don't think the game plan looks that way.
Yeah, well, that's fair if the coach is never going to adjust, and we just have the wrong coach.
But
be the case.
Has the coach done much adjusting?
Right.
You think so?
No, I think we have the wrong coach.
You agree with me? You agree with me? Yeah, exactly.
Well, it was the same exact game plan that they had against Cincinnati in Week 1. It was the same one. The only difference was they couldn't run the ball against Cincinnati either. They had a guy that could run the ball, so they ran the ball more this time. But when it got down to crunch time, he went back to throwing the ball. And I don't know that Joe Flacco wins that, because if it's the same thing and everything still unfolds, Flacco's throwing a pick in one of those last series.
I don't know.
He's going to.
I've
seen enough of it.
His interceptions this year.
That's why I got loud about it last week. I was done seeing him.
First of all, we all agreed after the first game, like he had 2 interceptions in that Cincinnati game that were both not on him.
Yeah.
Last game, the interception, the first one was a miscommunication. I definitely put that on Flacco, but there are other people that do film study that no, it's just the receiver's not doing the right thing, and so they're off, and
I go back to the one in Baltimore where he could have ran for a first down. Instead, he threw it backside of his body and ended up getting picked.
I don't know if he can ever run for a first down.
Well, he had one there, and then he had to run harder chasing down the pick.
But the other interception last week was on Judy, 100%. I mean, he's slipping. He's not. It's just that you're going to take some chances in an NFL game and press coverage, and if you can't even do that, then you can't even run a functional offense. Period. And I just think that Flacco has been pressing when down. They wouldn't have been down yesterday. I think with that running attack, they would not have been down. They would have had the lead, and I would have felt good about actually being able to extend the lead. But with Dillon Gabriel and the offense basically in a straitjacket by the offensive coordinator, you're just not going to win a lot of games that way either. And that's with a great running game. So that's the case I'll make for Flacco.
Hey, man,
I know it's not going to be popular.
I don't think that it's not popular because I don't think we're going to actually come to an agreement on even halfway there, other than we're just going to have to agree to disagree.
So you think Flacco, they're just an 0-17 team or a 1-16 team?
But I think that the reasons that have perpetuated throughout this season would have continued to perpetuate against the Minnesota Vikings. That's my issue. The issue is with the game plans, which is on the coach. The issue is with the coaching. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. You think that we would have won the game with Joe Flacco?
Yeah, I said because with that running game, you would have actually been able to utilize what Joe Flacco does well, and he had not had that kind of dynamite running game all season. And I'm not trying to make Joe Flacco seem like it was the biggest mistake in the world to bench him. Eventually, you're going to have to go to the rookies, and he had enough time, right? Mm-hmm. But I do think the one thing that Flacco could have done was actually extend things a little bit. Like right now, everything's so close to the line of scrimmage with Dillon Gabriel. Well, that's not the way Joe Flacco was supposed to play ever. But when you didn't have a running game, and every time Joe Flacco touched the ball, you were losing, and defenses were pinning their ears back, and your offensive line couldn't protect, I think that you might have been able to flip the script a little bit with Flacco.
Yeah, I disagree. I think they made the right decision at the right time because of the situation that they were in. I think that they probably planned on starting Dillon later, but they were really put in a situation where they had to make that move, and they made that move. And I don't think that if they would have kept Joe Flacco in there, you're under the best circumstances possible. But this is what their offense is, and this is why I've had the problem here. I mean, when somebody brought up is that a true thing? 19 of the last 22 games, they haven't put up over 20 points. I mean, that's abysmal. That is clearly abysmal, and that can't just be all on whatever quarterback they have. I know it's very, very easy to go after Deshaun Watson, and many of us have. I can't put that all on him. I can't put that all on him. By the way, if it is all on him, well, guess who wanted him? Okay, the head coach wanted him. So you got what you wanted, and we're dealing with it. So I can't just put it all on him. 19 of the last 22 games, that's an abomination of football. Of offensive game plan. So if they would have had Joe, I have to believe, based on your history, based on your track record, that you wouldn't have ran Quinshon Judkins 23 times. You wouldn't have done that. And again, that's another thing, by the way, because everybody's making this comparison with Nick. You can't help it. What do we say? And now Nick had a higher usage rate than any of us realize. I know that. But how many Sundays or Mondays do we come in after a Browns loss going, why weren't they running Nick Chubb in X, Y, or Z? Why weren't they doing this or that with Nick Chubb? And so this is what tells me that he was being a little bit more desperate. Is that I keep bringing up, I'm harping on you about 3rd and 11. But you're running the football way more than you really want to, where you've even said it during breaks on the air. Now, off the air, I don't know if I want to bring it up on the air, but you're going to say, man, it's going to be terrible. Quinshon Judkins is going to be great. We're going to waste him because we're not going to win these football games. So now you feel a reek of desperation. And I go back to, what have you done to protect that defense? Because you're a head coach. You have to manage the game. It's not just calling plays and trying to rack up yards. So, no, he is not done right. And he didn't do right on Sunday, and I have to put the blame at Kevin's feet. 216-474-0092. So I would not believe that if Joe Flacco were out there, we'd be having a victory Monday. I think the game plan would have been much more throwing, which means much more picks. I think that they probably still wouldn't have put up 20 points. And I think we'd be even madder that he didn't make the change. That now he's just being stubborn Kevin instead of being able to make that change. Now you've made it. This is the bed you'll lay in. And the thing I'll say about Dylan Gabriel is that he was passable. Didn't set the world on fire, but didn't go out and embarrass himself either, so he was perfectly fine. Didn't give me any reason to think that he's going to ever be a franchise quarterback for this team and nothing more than another name on this jersey. But we'll find out. But didn't do anything that made me hate him either. Seems like a fine young man. 216-474-0092 before I go to the phone.
Just to correct your stat, it's 19 of 23. And
23.
Technically, if you want to go back, the playoff game would make it 24, and the throwaway game against the Bengals at the end of the year of 2023 would make it 19 of 25.
Man.
Holy wah.
Those are the numbers of a coach that absolutely gets fired.
Actually, let me take that back. Only 3 times have they, so it'd be 22 of 25.
Yeah, it would be one thing if he were a defensive coach, but because he's an offensive coach and because the investment in him and his staff is supposed to be that, hey, you get a strategic advantage with this. That's gone now. And I know he hasn't had Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't had Josh Allen. He did have Baker and had Baker playing really well, but now Baker's playing at a totally another level, so he doesn't even get that credit anymore because Baker's playing the best football of his career, and he's
playing with a defensive head coach.
With a defensive head coach.
Was that close to being fired at the end
So it almost becomes a mark against him, and then it's also, as much as we have totally given an accurate reporting of what happened during the Baker years, not this
here we go
fly-by-night thing, but their inability to kind of help evolve Baker. Like, they're not going to get credit now for Baker's success anywhere else. Like, why couldn't you guys work together? Some of it is going to be on you, some of it's going to be on Baker. But now as Baker plays better, it's like, more of it's on you. That's how the history books will be written. So you're running out. There's only so often you can trot out 2-time Coach of the Year, which I think was earned.
That was okay, but that was gone last year.
I know. But I heard someone say, if you ever bring up 2-time Coach of the Year, I'm not going to listen to you. You lose your football credibility. No, I mean, that was earned. The 2-time Coach of the Year was earned. It wasn't like he magically got it and he did nothing to earn it.
And since he earned it, 22 of the 25 games he has not put up 20 points.
And so that's new information. So when you're equipped with new information, like eventually Bill Belichick, the Super Bowl rings didn't mean anything. Eventually, it's what are you doing with this team right now? And that's where we're at with Kevin Stefanski, who did not win a Super Bowl.
Are we giving away Adam Sandler's tickets for the rest of the
I believe so, yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to watch my references because my Twitter is nothing but Adam Sandler references now.
Well, don't do it then.
They got Dylan Gabriel, and the offense was slithering this way and that. All right, we got to go to the phones. Chuck in Cleveland, you're first up with the fan. Hello.
Hey, how we doing, man?
Hi, Chuck. We're doing okay.
Just waiting to get out of Browns prison is crazy, right? All right, it's 2 things I want to say.
Oh, my gosh, we have a Browns prison reference. That's right.
One of the things I want to say is it's no way. Listen, a dead clock strikes. A dead clock is right twice a day. There goes your 2-time Coach of the Year. Okay, this guy's trash. I want to say Kevin Stefanski mismanages the clock. What makes a guy like Mike Tomlin so good, he knows how to pick on defensive weaknesses. When did we ever see our coach doing that? He's never picking on guys. Every good team, every good defense has a weakness. We got the number 1 defense, and we got a weakness. What is it? Be too aggressive. A good coach uses that against us yesterday, always. Okay?
Yeah.
Second, I just want to say the mismanagement of the clock is crazy. He's never been good at that. 3 for 15 on 3rd down. That's our quarterback. So, it's a lot of things working against us. I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon.
No, it probably won't. Chuck, thank you very much for the call. Because what I saw, again, I pray I'm wrong. Because, I have an even worse feeling about the future here. This is why I'm so down about him right now. Like, I did. I thought yesterday, when that game first ended, I was like, at least Dylan Gabriel was fine. And I'm going, well, he's just fine. That's it. And then I compounded with what I saw on Saturday and what I've seen the previous Saturdays. There's no guy who wants to take the mantle and be number 1 or number 2 overall. There's no guy. There's no guy out there. There's an argument now against every single one of them. The guys that we wanted to prop up haven't taken the mantle. Lenore Sellers can't stay healthy. Arch Manning, I don't know what he's doing with his arm anymore, and that was just a terrible performance against Florida. Nobody coaches with their back against the wall better than Billy Napier. Billy Napier might end up being the best Browns coach that they could ever get because his back would always be on the firing line, and then you would always get a good performance out of him for crying out loud. And this might be the perfect spot for a guy like that. But either way, Arch Manning's a no. Lenore Sellers can't stay healthy. Fernando Mendoza, hey, I know he had a whole bunch of touchdowns against Illinois. They had 5 defensive backs out, but hey, he's 6'5". I like that guy. I mean, here I am again because I'm trying to find something to be excited about for the future and not waste the fans' time and waste the players that we like's time. Because you brought it up with Quinshon Judkins, Tone. You said it. We're going to waste this year. He's going to have a whole bunch of carries. It's just more mileage on the car. And what are we going to do with it? Not much. And if I don't have an answer from what I'm seeing on Saturdays, it's still more of the same. So what are we going to do? We'll just go out there, we'll draft best player available, and then we'll sit here next October going, oh, you don't have the quarterback. And what happens when you don't have the quarterback? This is what happens when you lose football.
You're not taken seriously. You're just not.
So before it was, hey, let's throw our lot in, find the QB. Okay, well, I don't know if it works that way anymore. So now I have to put everything I can on scouting. Well, how much do the fans trust the scouting right now? Recently, these look like good rookies. They do look like good rookies. So now I have to start going back and going in a circle of what I've been saying. Because who wants to go out and take a quarterback when now you've had to let go of a general manager and a front office in January getting ready for a draft in April? It's insane. Don't you see it? I'm going to drive myself nuts. It's October 6th. Can we go to 18? Thank you. Thank you, Owen. I appreciate you. Ken and Westlake, hello.
Last one this week.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Ken.
I understand that Stefanski gives one coach of the year twice, but I have a question for you. Have you ever thought that we've had a coaching advantage because we've had him on the sidelines?
I thought we did
a couple times.
I thought
Zach Taylor.
Yes.
No, I'll say when we had that power running game going and we were doing all the stuff that it was like, oh, this is Kubiak-esque. Like I did, but that's years ago now. I mean, that's.
I'll
long
tell you right
gone.
now, Ken. So I think he's staying for the rest of the year. I'm going to do a power ranking for Ken and Westlake right off the rip. Here we go. You ready, Ken? This is the guys. These are the guys in order who I think that we have the coaching advantage over on the rest of the schedule. Number 1, Mike McDaniel. Dolphins are coming to town on October 19th. Number 2, Brian Callahan. Tennessee Titans coming to town on December 7th. Number 3, Cincinnati Bengals. That's Zach Taylor. That's at the end of the year in Cincinnati. Boom. There you go, Ken. That's 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of lousy NFL coaches.
Yeah. Well, no, and if I want to be nasty about it, and Ken, thank you very much for the call, because I don't disagree totally with your point. I mean, he got the award twice for what?
Yeah,
because of the Browns' history.
Yeah,
so
but,
that's
2020,
that's what you get the award
2020,
for.
wasn't that the year like, oh, okay, we've got COVID situation.
Yes, the adversity that he had to go through. He was a rookie coach.
And then, all right, Chubb's out this week, and now it's Dearness Hunter, all right, over 100 yards. Like, I did think we had a coaching advantage that year.
Who's a middle-of-the-road team?
They also, you brought up the power running game real quick, Ken. 31 games between 100-yard rushers.
Yeah. It's all gone.
Yesterday.
It's all gone. Yeah. All the advantages we thought we had with Kevin
21 games?
Are
31.
gone.
31 games.
And, all right, we're going to be a smarter team, but have they looked smarter? The only thing I'll give them is against Green Bay at the end of the game, they got lined up quickly, and they did get kudos around the NFL for that. That's one thing, and they're 1-4.
And they all said that they have practiced that how many times?
Now the question is, are they practicing that too much and not throwing the ball further than 15 yards down the field?
Middle 58 minutes.